properly posted on Monday, January 23rd, and our prayer and pledge will be led by Brian Jasper, Superintendent, District 1.
And while he's on his way, he is the best superintendent in the whole county.
Let's pray.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for all that you've blessed us with, and we'd ask you to bless these commissioners, that you give them wisdom, that you give them grace, and you give them courage as they move this great county forward for our citizens. Father, we're grateful for our leaders and their serving hearts, and we ask that every decision made, every action taken would be true and wise in your sight and would honor you. And Father, we'll surely give you the glory. We now ask your hand of protection for us, and that you continue to love us and keep us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay. And I understand we need to open the bid early.
No, just before executive session.
Before executive session, okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes of January 18th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
5 through 13 are the consent docket.
Move the consent docket.
Second.
One minute. Steve, there's a note here. Was there something we need to do about any of this that on the consent docket? No. Okay, just want to make sure. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, item 14 is to assign the position that currently serves as the administrator for the BOC to be transferred to a position in the Director of Human Resources.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Item 2, from District 2, is for number 15, and this is a contract with the Oklahoma County and the Oklahoma City Economic Development Foundation, and this is the $200,000 we do for chamber dues.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
16 is appointing Butch Freeman again as our county representative for the proposed TIF district in Midwest City.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. 17 is regarding the Combs Real Estate donating approximately 150 loads of soil to be used for road construction. This is to receive it.
Move we receive.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. We thank them for that. Yeah. Item 18 is to approve the plans and sign the title sheet for some culvert boxes in District 2 on Peebly Road and Pottawatomie Road. I would move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
District 3, number 19.
Number 19 is to rephrase the language on the sheet that is the cover sheet of our meetings on the agenda. And there was a sentence there that I think we were unaware that was there that allowed citizens to actually place agenda items on the agenda, which I don't think was the intent, at least not since I've been here. And so we're just clarifying the language on there to make sure that we provide for citizen comment on issues before the board, but not for the citizens to place an issue on the agenda. That should go through the commissioner.
I agree, and I move the item.
Second.
My only concern about this is, though, they're not able to talk about anything under citizen comment that's not on the agenda, right?
Well, that's how I read it. That's how I read it as well, and I don't have a problem with them bringing up agenda items or bringing up items that aren't on the agenda. It's just that we didn't address that in this particular request.
But they won't be allowed to do so.
I would agree with that based on the wording of this, that they would only be allowed to speak if it was a matter that was already on the agenda.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question here? Because it's difficult, it's difficult at best to get in this facility. And if our citizens come to voice an issue while we don't and shouldn't take any action on it, should we deprive them of an opportunity to just talk to us?
Your position, though, comes from the law of the open meetings because of posted agenda items.
Well, let me back up and explain a little bit more broadly. Under the law, citizens do not have an absolute right to address the board at all. However, if you allow them, if you create an open forum for them to do so, then, you know, constitutional First Amendment rules will kick in. But really what I view this as, this matter on the agenda, is that initial policy consideration of whether or not you're going to allow citizens to address the board and to what extent. And that's one of pure policy. You can bar it all together. You can do as what is suggested on the agenda and allow only comment on items that are already placed on the agenda, or you can also do it to where you do have a citizens participation item, much like we do have on the agenda right now, that would allow the citizens to address the board, but under the Open Meetings Act, the board would not be allowed to discuss it or take action on it.
Right, and I'm for that.
But those are all options for this board to decide how they want to conduct their meetings, and that's the policy decision part of it.
Okay. Well, you clarified for me, I think where I was going with that, after all, we depend on these people to get us in these jobs. And
there's a couple of approaches we could take on what you had mentioned. One is to leave it like it is and suggest that if someone contacts you and says, I want to talk about this subject, then it would be up to you to put an agenda item on there to allow them to do that. Or we can go back and do an amendment or do a revision to this that would try to address that so that it would not even require that much formality. But then you do run the risk of the few times.
Yeah, we had a
few times we've had citizens
Yeah.
come and want to make political speeches and things of that
Right,
nature.
right.
Especially during times of elections.
You're right.
So.
And so I'm going to second this. Did you move it? Who moved it? Did I move it?
I'll move it.
Okay, now I'll second it. But I
Okay.
still want you to know that, you know, I think if somebody just wants to come down here and beat us up a little bit, we can handle it.
Yeah,
We don't
I
have to
just,
do anything about it, but we can handle it.
I mean, her predecessor was more aggressive than she has been, but,
Right.
you know, somebody would come up to that microphone and they think this is their meeting, this is the public's meeting, and she would just bark at them and just shut them down. I mean, and it chomped their head off, and all they wanted to say was a little something, you know, and I just think that the public has a right to address us, and we've all had pretty unusual predecessors somewhere up down the line of each of the three districts, and I can see where it might be very difficult to get one of them to agree to put something on, and I can also see where you might be sheepish about placing an agenda item on for someone else's constituent that's outside of your district. It could be a situation where, you know, this only got invoked one time in the 8 years I've been here. I don't think it's been terribly abused, and it followed a big accounting of a public event in the newspapers, so it wasn't an obscure, random. I'm not necessarily saying that I don't support them not maybe being able to place an agenda item on, but if they have no other forum to address this, I think that's a terrible precedent. If public comment, because of open meetings, doesn't allow for something to be posted to notify the public to hear about it, if that's the position of the DA's office, then this is the only other way they have to speak about something that's, and we may not know about it. Look at the racetrack around the sheriff's office. You know, there were people that had stuff to tell us about that, and we didn't even know anything about it.
That was an agenda item, though.
Well, it got to be one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the public should have the right to put anything on our agenda.
But right now, if that's the only way they have to be able to address us about something, because we don't allow them to discuss something that's not on the agenda under open comment.
Is it your position, Aaron, that, if someone were to come from the public that wanted to address an issue that was not on the agenda, that they could do so?
If this,
Well, I'm talking about, under the Open Meetings Act. Forget our language right here.
yes, under the Open Meetings Act, if the board allows for citizens' participation, then yes. The Open Meetings Act allows, once that policy decision has been made, allows for the citizens to address the board like has been done in the past, but prohibits the board from carrying on any discussion and taking action on it. The Open Meetings Act does allow that. I read this item, though, to preclude that.
Right.
More
Okay.
restrictive.
Correct.
Right.
If it's the will of the board, I will be happy to defer this a week and see if I can come up with some language that might allow. I want to have open dialogue with the citizens and give them an opportunity to speak, but not to initiate agenda items.
Exactly. And I think we're all dancing to the same tune here. But the public is our boss. And this is their building.
But they can come and talk to us, and if there's something that merits an agenda item, we can put it on there.
And that's
Yeah.
fine. I'm just saying is so long as they can address it. I mean, I very vividly recall your predecessor absolutely saying, they cannot, you need to power down that microphone, they cannot address you, this item that they're trying to reference is not on the agenda. So they were just shut off, and they were clueless. They didn't have an idea about the legalities of what they needed to do to address us, and they weren't trying to do anything, you know, nefarious.
May I inquire from our very experienced city councilwoman of the past, how did Oklahoma City handle those kinds of?
We let those people come up there and say whatever they wanted to say, and when they finished, we said thank you.
As did this body formally. You just needed to fill out a form.
Well, they have to fill out a form at Oklahoma City.
Right.
Mhm.
But it
But we
was
can
wide
let
open
them
under
talk.
public comment. If, so long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with this. As long as the public can come up and talk to us. But if we're shutting them off, I'm not in favor.
I do not believe that this, the way this item is worded, would allow that. This would foreclose the agenda item as it currently appears regularly on our agendas for citizens' participation. Because this would only limit their ability to speak to an item that is already existing on the
Yeah,
agenda.
that's what this does.
If I may, then let me withdraw my motion and move that we defer this week so that I can work on some additional language that will address that.
Because that probably wasn't your intent,
No.
I'm guessing. Okay. Well,
May I suggest that it be stricken, since
Oh,
whatever comes back will no longer be in this identical
Oh,
form?
sure, okay. Move to strike 19.
second.
and I appreciate your flexibility on that and hearing my concern. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Items 20 and 21 and 22 and 23 from engineering. No, facilities maintenance has those last two. It's just 20 and 21.
First one is a division order contract for your oil royalties.
Move approval of item 20.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 21 is an access agreement with ODOT. If you'll recall, they were going to redo I-40 and Douglas interchange. When it first came to us, it was going to be a fast-track project, but that money really didn't materialize, so it's kind of back on the regular schedule of a 2020 letting, unless, you know, the funding scenario changes. But they still need to get out there and be able to do their investigations for environmental and surveys and so forth. So what this agreement allows them to do is to get on the property that you own on the south side of 40, north side of Tinker Air Force Base, and do their studies.
Move we approve the access agreement between the county and the Department of Transportation.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
22 and 23 from facilities maintenance. 22 is accepting the annex building entrance repair as being satisfactory complete.
Move the item. If you are okay with that, Keith? Yes. You sure? All righty then, move the item.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
23 is to participate in the State Environmental Abatement Program, referred to as CAP, in the Office of State of Oklahoma Management and Enterprise System, otherwise known as OMES. These are services required to perform mold remediation in the jail kitchen.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Planning has item 24. It's to reappoint Mr. Jack, is it Query?
Query. Yes, he's a representative from District 3 and has served us since 1996. I've moved for his reappointment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sheriff has items 25 through 27. 25 is the Highway Safety Administrator of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration funds. This is an application, and I'm told from Captain Basin, though he's not here today, that there is no cost to the county on both this item and number 26, which is another one from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration funds for distracted driver program.
Looks like item 25 could actually save us some money.
Yeah. Move the item.
Second.
Is it for both items?
Yeah.
I'll second both items.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
27 is an agreement with Shared Services, and this is for the monthly service fee for the network connection.
Move the item.
Second.
Routine, isn't it, John? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then, you want to go ahead and open the bids now, Amber? There was for the public, there was a reason that we need to do this before executive session.
Bid number CW 1170, scratch the CW, 1170-4058. This is for the 9th floor demolition in the courthouse. 2 bids were received, Midwest Wrecking Company and LG Construction Company Incorporated. And that concludes the bid.
Okay.
Move the approve.
Move they be tabulated.
Tabulated. And approved.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the claims?
Move the claim.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No change to the blanket.
Move the blanket.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, are there any citizens to be heard? Hearing none, is there any commissioner comments from District 1?
Yes. How about Mr. Westbrook? Is he awesome? You know, it's almost unbelievable that a person can have that much talent. And it's concentrated right down here in little old Oklahoma, where he could be any place in the world he wanted to be. I'm just thankful that he's here with our thunder. And I just want to tell you guys, I went to Dallas this past weekend for my aunt's birthday. She turned 70. I'm 78. She turned 70. And I got lost on my way to San Antonio for Oklahoma City.
Well, no wonder you went to Dallas.
Well, I went down to the Piney Woods for the party. I forgot to say that.
Oh, okay.
Went to the Piney Woods for the party, and on my way home via San Antonio, I got into Dallas, and it was bright dark, and I got lost in Dallas. I went around in a circle in Dallas forever. If I had come directly home from the Piney Woods, I would have gotten home at 5:30 Monday afternoon. As it was, I got home almost 11. So I'm tired. So don't y'all bring up nothing else for me to deal with. I just had to say that because I can't believe I lost my way. But, you know, I used to tell one of my ex-husbands I've never been permanently lost. I do find my way sometimes, all the time. So that's it. Thank you, sir.
I can't follow that.
Okay.
Nothing.
Wait, I didn't. I'm being silly. But I wanted to tell you about a wonderful experience I had yesterday with the elementary school kids at Martin Luther King. It was Teacher for a Day. I was one of the people that was invited there to get a real understanding of what the teachers go through, and it was awesome. The teachers were very, very bright and cheery and that big, and the kids were too. But the second grade class where I was, they had 26 kids in the second grade. You know how hard it is to keep a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old still for a minute? It's impossible. But the teacher's doing a great job. She's doing a really good job. I understand your wife teaches over there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I encourage you, if you've got any time at all and you know where there's an elementary school, please go and help the teachers out. Even if you don't do anything but sit and play blocks with the kids while the teacher works with those kids who really need the work. I was impressed, and I'm going to go back and play with blocks. Now,
If I may, she's reminded me of something I wanted to give a little credit to. You all have heard me talk about Positive Tomorrows.
Yes.
The school for homeless children.
Yeah.
And they recently received a sizable donation from our friend Kevin Durant.
Yes.
And I just
That's
thought
awesome.
he deserved a little shout out for that. I'm not even sure how much it was, but the fact that he's still thinking about them is
That
admirable.
is awesome. You know, I helped start Positive Tomorrow when I was on the board of directors of the YWCA, because we categorized those children who were with their mothers, you know.
It's a great operation. I'm very impressed.
Great operation, yeah. I wasn't trying to steal your thunder, but I had to let folks know.
I knew you'd say something about thunder.
Well, you did too. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Any new business? Hearing none, is there a motion to recess into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to return to regular session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, is there action on item 34?
I'll be happy to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, which would be to agree to reimburse the district attorney's office for a $400 filing fee in this case in the event they have to remove it to federal court.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then item 35, Jane?
We already did that. That's what we did.
Oh, okay, we already did that. Okay, I was thinking, I'm sorry. All right, now item 36. Move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ray.